Wickelculture here. Me and my two boys moved that pile of hay, spread it out on these blackberries, figs, blueberries. Then we had some strawberries in there, so we had to work around those gently. We'll see how they do. And we tried to save some of the violets. I think they'll push back through mostly. I don't think we're going to hurt those things. They're pretty rugged. So hopefully we get a little bit better water flow around this corner now. So hopefully we'll get the weeds out of control into these blackberries, so we don't have to fight them so much. I'll show you this little bed I tilled up some strawberries, some Egyptian walking onions, and some garlic. So I put them in this bed. I'm going to put some spinach in here. So I tilled it 4 to 6 inches deep, and then we just scraped that compost up through it on that hill on the side. We also cleaned out all those radishes. We chopped and dropped them. We just left them in the ground, chopped the stalks. So we're getting that bed ready for something. Don't know what. Some kind of herb, I'm sure. That'll grow in the shade. Some perennial. That'll do well there. We'll see. The oregano is doing very well there. You see those big mounds. I think that's mite. I don't think it's 2 years old. I think I planted it last year. It might have been a year ago in the winter, late fall that I put them in. It's just very happy there. I want to show you these radishes. I just kind of overseed everything. They're great cover crop for the winter, even in your garden. Just throw them in there. They pull out super easy. And I feed them to the cows. And that chickweed that's so abundant, so many people hate that chickweed. They don't want it. It is so soft stemmed, it's so weak, it's so easy to pull out. You just grab the tall stuff and pull it. Don't even try to pull it out by the roots. Just harvest the tops off. If you're not going to eat it, make greens out of it, all kinds of different ways to eat it as greens. You could put it in a smoothie. Super nutritious. And if you can't keep up with that, I'll show you what I do with it. Let's do a pile out here. And the girls just love it. And the boys. Now you have to pardon my meat birds there. I did not butcher them. I'm letting them grow and grow and grow. That's another story. I know it's a terrible idea. Those are Cornish cross that were not butchered. At any rate, they love the radishes and they love the chickweed. So the goats eat it, the cows eat it, chickens eat it. I don't think the ducks particularly care about it, but you can just see the girls going crazy over it. And if everybody knew it was here, they'd all be here eating. So I may give the whole pile to the birds, I don't know. I might give some to the cows. All that came out of just this little patch right here. But it's a very abundant, I mean that's a wheelbarrow full right there. By the time I finish this, get that. It's a wheelbarrow of high quality fodder for my ruminants or my birds. I don't think you should hate on chickweed as much as you do. A lot of people just can't stand it. I left it in there. You rip it out, you got to put something else back in. Just let it grow until it dies from the heat. And the reason I cleaned this out is this is supposed to be a strawberry bed. So that's what it looked like right there. My strawberries were just not getting much sun, so went ahead and decided to give them some space. There's another pile there. That's about as big as the pile I gave the chickens. That was over there. I'm going to finish weeding that little bit, getting this ready for my strawberries. I'm going to let that grow back. We also have some kale. I left that in. I seeded the kale in at the same time as the radishes. The radishes took off. This was all strawberries here. I have so much water coming in from the gate there. It washes down through here. It's just a little too wet. Those strawberries died back to the top of that mound. They didn't like it down here. So it's a good place for lettuce, I'm thinking. Even the kale died back. So definitely a good spot for lettuce. I got this mint. It's a leggy mint. I put mint on the edge of my garden to keep the grass out. And then the animals aren't trying to push in to eat it because they don't really want it. It's supposed to deter mice and all that. I don't know if that's true or not. But I prefer it to grass on the edge of my gardens. But you have to have a barrier. So right now the strawberries and the mint are fighting it out. The mint will win eventually. So we'll have to keep pulling it out and replanting it. Forgot what else I was going to tell you. Well, I'll remember next time. There was something else I was going to bring up. So down here I let the cows in for about an hour in preparation for tomorrow. And I continue to rototill and get some beds ready. It's pretty wet. I'm going to see if I can burn this pile off, get it out of the way. But the cows, you can see they grazed it down a little bit along the fence, which is the goal. I'm going to let them graze again in the morning and then till it all the way down to the edge of this pile. And I'll show you an update on that. And I'm going to put hay along the outside, choke the grass. I'm going to till this, put more hay down. I'm getting some pretty serious grass creeping in here. Do not want it. I'll update you on all that later. Yeah, those birds going to town on those turnips. They're eating the bulbs, the greens, all of it. This one they were working on and they got tired of it. Wanted to show you about this chickweed. I had finished strawberries, let some light in. Now, show this chickweed. See a lemon balm underneath. Got a little kale growing in there. This is among a couple of peach trees here. The ground cover in between. And on the sunny side, I got a little garlic over there. But the point being, some would say that this is a terrible weedy mess. But I say there's a lot of food there, a lot of herbs there with the lemon balm. I don't have to get out here and mow. I don't have to weed eat. I don't even really have to weed. If I can get everything like this, a solid carpet. Chickweed is getting ready to go to flower, it goes to seed, it'll reseed itself. It's going to look like this next year, and the year after, and the year after, if I don't let succession take over. If I don't let other plants come in and beat it out. Taller, weedy plants, stemmy plants, could come in here and shade it out and kill it. But it does well early in the season before the leaves come on the trees. So it's actually a living mulch. It's keeping grass and weed seeds from blowing in and taking root. There's nothing going to get in there. Nothing can compete at this point. Later in the summer it's going to die back, but it's also going to have a mat of vegetation there. It's going to naturally mulch the soil. If I get too much chickweed, I could just pick it and feed it to the chickens. I just grab the handful, top growth, and pull. And it is so soft stemmed, it doesn't take. And that's also, you could just take that in the house and make a smoothie out of it. Pick through it, make sure there's nothing in there you don't want, but excellent greens. They're very mild, they don't have a whole lot of flavor. They have a whole lot of nutrition. I mean, I can't say enough good things about chickweed. It's not a weed. If anything, it's an excellent animal fodder. I got a little blueberry in there, part of my succession plan, or my, not succession, but layers, you know, different layers. Because this garden is obviously always trying to go vertical for every amount of space it has. These radishes, they were nothing a couple weeks ago, and now they're just going straight up for it. They're going for the sun. They're fighting it out and they're winning. But I'm going to pick them, pull them out, and I'm going to feed them to my animals or turn them into mulch. So the garden's always trying to go vertical. I'm going to try to keep it horizontal with this chickweed. It's a very useful plant if you use it right. And there's a little bit of dead nettle in there. And it's similarly useful. I don't prefer it as much as the chickweed. But at any rate, I have strawberries in here. So I'm going to pull all the top growth off of this. I'm going to show you how much chickweed I get off of this little patch. Then I'm going to go feed it to, I'm going to carry it over and feed it to some other chickens who haven't seen it. I am going to leave the short growth. I'm not going to try to uproot it. I'm just going to pull the top growth off. That way I can still hopefully achieve what I'm got going on here, but I can also get a harvest out of it. So we're going to see how that goes. I'll be back with you later. So I got the top growth pulled off. Got a little more serious around the strawberries, which is my target crop. I would much rather have strawberries as living mulch than chickweed. But I like chickweed. It's fine. So I did this little patch up to the tree basically. Got a little chamomile hiding in over there. Got opium lettuce, wild lettuce growing in. I left that, some of it anyway. And here's my wheelbarrow. Now there was a dock root I dug out. I don't want that yellow dock in there. But that's quite a bit of food for no real effort other than picking it. And I could do that for how many ever more days throughout this garden if I needed to feed my chicks. If it was hard times, I didn't have chick food. This is food. It's not a lot of calories, but it does have nutrition. You know, fill up their bellies, give them something to do besides sit around and be hungry. They would not live on it forever, but it is food. And they prefer it. They'll eat it now. I'll show you a picture of me feeding it here in a minute. So these young pullets don't quite know what to do with it. Older girls know what to do with it. And more interest is being gathered, so more and more hens will make their way over here and eat. It's 95% chickweed, and I think it holds true to its name. I think the chicks like it. Hens like it. There is some plantain, dead nettle, white clover in there, red clover, a little bit of, no white, red clover. But not much any of that. But this is what some people would consider the bane of their existence in their garden. If you have chickens, I might rethink it, and it actually could even be considered a crop. It just depends on how you manage it. So we'll see what's left of this pile later. I think they'll probably eat most of it.